Hello, and welcome back to In Case of Emergency. I am here with a mug. A mug of miso soup, because I decided one day that, oh wait, let me change my mic setting real quick. There we go. That it was easier to drink this kind of soup in a mug. And then I realized it kind of looked weird. You know, just like drinking a soup out of like a coffee cup kind of thing, because everyone's gonna look at me and be like, Josh, what kind of tea are you drinking? And then I have to be like, it's soup. It's soup, friend. Anyway, we're in the carriage, right? As Luke do thing, right? Yeah. The minutes pass slowly. There's no window to look out of. Okay. Though you're not sure what kind of view you'd get from the warped proportions of this car. Luke pulls out a deck of cards and wraps Wes up in a card game, while Cedric and Remus pore over the map and discuss cities and rivers that you've never heard of. We're playing cards. Right? You join Wes and Luke, who are happy to accommodate you in their game of Go Fish. By the time you've handily won a few rounds, Luke suggests raising the stakes with poker. He even throws down a few gold coins onto the table. Wes agrees, and who are you to do anything but cave to pressure, the peer pressure? In a matter of a few games, you're cleaned out. Luke has a big mouth and, unfortunately, good enough luck to back it up. There were a few times Wes could have won with a better hand, but he's always too quick to fold. As for you, well, you never had the best luck anyways. Suddenly, a sharp crack sound from outside the carriage. Yes. And the room is sharply tilted to the right, sending tables and chairs sliding across the interior. Everyone scrambles for the opposite end, trying to get a hold of everything bolted down. The carriage begins to violently shudder and shake, bouncing up and down up the unpaved dirt road. There's a rattling sound near the back axle. It sounds like we blew a wheel. Fix it. Yeah, let me just grab the spare wooden wheel in the trunk while we're still moving. Turn it off. Turn it off. Luke already has his hand out in concentration, muttering what you think is an incantation, except you can hear under his breath. Do this, Luke. Fix this, Luke. Magic basically makes you an on-call handyman, right? And the carriage seems to begin to slow, the rattling growing quieter until gravity begins to teeter towards the front of the car, like a roller coaster about to go down a steep drop. Everyone move slowly towards the back of the car. A stray coin slides off the table and towards the front of the car, and the whole thing tips forward, plummeting downward and sending the furniture on another journey across the carriage. I stopped it. You feel your stomach raise in your throat, weightless in the near freefall. Actually, freefall would be better. As it stands now, the five of you are careening down a bumpy hill, occasionally leaving the ground, only to slam back down with a sickening crunch of wood. Out the door! A particularly nasty bump dislodges you from your perch, and about to throw you against the furniture piled up in front of the car, while something catches your collar. Watch it! Now you're choking, the hem of your shirt pressing against your throat. Somewhere you can't see, there's a low, heavy thunk and a crack. Suddenly, the sound of you're barreling down the hill is much clearer. Everyone must have busted down the door. Someone must have busted down the door. Straining for breath, you tap Cedric's arm in surrender. Shit, sorry. Cedric lets you go, and gravity throws you, albeit less violently than if he hadn't caught you against an upturned table. From your sprawled position, you see Wes leaning half of his body out of the car, the moving car, one hand on the frame, one hand back towards the cabin.
A cliff ahead.
Luke furiously tries to loop at one of the ends of the rope, muttering the whole time about Boy Scouts and bullshit. He pressures this end into Wes's hand. Wes braces himself against the door frame and readies the rope like a lasso.
Chiron, your sword.
Luke knots the other end of the rope. He looks around the room for something to secure it to.
The sword?
You finally understand what Cedric is saying and fumbles for your scabbard on your waist. And your hands are sweaty as you unsheath it, awkwardly trying to find your footing against the constantly changing gravity. Yeah. With two hands, you plummet the sword into the floor of the carriage, piercing through carpet and wood like butter.
I got a tree.
The rope is quickly disappearing out the door. Wes wastes no time throwing it to the hilt of your sword, and... Did I say Wes? Luke? Yes. And the five of you feel the front wheels of the car begin to pitch precariously forward. And then the rope goes tout, jerking the carriage to the sudden halt. Your body is tossed forward and back by the whiplash. That's going to hurt in the morning.
Out. Get out right now.
He ushers the rest of the group out. Remus extends a hand to help you on your feet, which you gratefully accept.
The sword? It'll be fine. We need to get the carriage off the, okay. We need to get the carriage away from the cliff face first.
Battered, bruised, and exhausted, the party pulls back the carriage from the edge of the cliff. The basin at the base of the looks like it was once carved out by a roaring river, but at the present there's a more modest stream of water flowing through. Once the cart is stabilized, you retrieve your sword unbent and unscratched, and resheathed it at your hip.
The sword can't be pulled out by anyone other than you. Not even by the force of a carriage careening down the hill.
The physics of that are a bit troubling, but not as much as the fact that anyone can stab with your sword, but you're the only one that can pull it out. You've got a wedging. You're good at wedging a sword into places where it can't be taken out. Great. You were hoping for something a little cooler, but it feels inappropriate to complain right at this moment. You join the rest of the group as they sit around the grass.
It appears as though our journey will require a detour.
Remus retrieves the map from his side and spreads it at the bottom of the greasy knoll, looking a little disappointed.
We can follow the river. There's a town, a convenience.
Okay.
Not far from here.
At the same time, Wes frowns and Luke lightens up.
Are you sure that's the closest?
Convenience? There's supposed to be a book there I'm looking for. There. Does Wessie not want to go? Wes frowns. Her frown grows deeper, but he only shakes his head.
It's fine.
Good, because that book I need is going to come in handy. There's another guy who's theorized making magic into numbers, the true grimoire. But he did it in reverse. If you can break down magic into its most basic principles, you can use that like building blocks to make anything. Numbers into magic. I mean, but Wes doesn't want to go, right? I want to make the decision that makes Wes happy. We don't have time? That's just Luke disliking me. That's fine. We should probably focus on our main quest. Luke quirks an eyebrow at you, amused, seeming to say that he'll look for it with or without your blessing. After you disperse, Cedric calls over from the carriage, where he's squatted by a broken wheel.
The wheel didn't just break on the road.
I could have told you that. People don't make wheels that snap when they go over pebbles.
Then, what did?
Cedric runs his thumb over a missing part of the rim.
It's smooth. If it snapped, they'd be splintered. It must have been an unfortunate timing. A timed pocket of void. Is that possible? It was done on purpose.
Oh, is it possible it was done on purpose? Okay.
Only if earthquakes or thunderstorms can be done deliberately. There's no void gods. It's just a part of the world. It happens.
At this point, you just hope you don't have to walk. The sun high above you. The five of you follow the river until your feet ache. The mood is sullen. Even Wes, normally stoic, looks pessimistic about your prospects. Remus keeps staring at the map, muttering occasionally that your surroundings don't exactly match what's depicted. Okay. Eventually, a town looms in the distance, dotted with red roofs, houses, and white plaster walls. It's placed right by the river, which stretches a little wider here. Water lapped gently by wooden docks.
The river is calmer than expected.
Not only that, but as you grow closer to the town, you spot a raised drawbridge that would allow you to cross the river. You could pass by the forest and the mines and cliffs altogether. Remus seems to draw the same conclusion because he furrows his brow and rubs his chin in thought. It's well into the afternoon by the time you arrive at Convivience.
Perhaps we should rest here for the night.
Wes blanches.
We can keep going. We'll camp just outside of town. We're making good progress anyway.
No.
I think I'd like to speak to someone about why the drawbridge wasn't on the map. That simply isn't right.
And I want to find my book. Cedric doesn't speak up, and he does look pretty tired. Am I really a yes man for Big Tiger? Yes. Wouldn't it be better to keep moving? Wes looks at you with conflicting emotions wearing on his face.
We should keep going.
Cedric looks worse off than anyone else, eyes drooping and feet dragging. Luke sighs. And that's 3-2.
Very well. We should first ascertain when the bridge will be lowered.
As Remus turns towards the direction of the bridge, a guard approaches the group. Oh, does said guard have a portrait? Nope, okay.
A halt. Under orders of the Major Convivience, no one is to leave the town until we apprehend the culprit behind the attempted murder of Lord Boskia. And how long will that take?
If the guard recognizes the king of the entire realm, he doesn't show it.
As long as it takes, citizen.
Luke's eyebrows raise. Did someone say murder mystery?
Attempted murder. Attempted murder.
All I'm hearing is reason to stay. Come on, we solve this murder, get out of town, catch a break, maybe look for some books in the meantime. Win-win.
Did you say, Baskia? I know the Baskians. If anyone's, after them, it's their rival family, a House Remerant. Good. The U4 seem to have this under control. Investigate the attempt on Lord Baskia's life, and we will continue in the morning.
He turns around without waiting for an answer, his cape whisking behind him and disappearing into the crowd. Cedric sighs, his breath shaky as it exits his nostrils.
Let's head to the Baskians. Maybe we can find more info there.
You should rest, though. I don't want you falling on the floor as we're walking, like I do on occasion. Do you need a break? We can grab a room. I'll grab a room for him. You two solve the murder, and I'll find a nice bookstore to read him a bedtime story from.
No, I'm fine. Let's go.
The four of you approach the Baskia Manor. How is this pronounced? It'll be way too late for people to correct me, but you know. A heavy golden knocker is embedded in the mouth of a small caniform. Knock. You rap twice on the... Is that how that's pronounced? You rap twice on the dark wooden door. Is this a phrase? I've never read this. I've never heard this. That's fine. You hear people talking inside.
I'll wait outside.
Luke grabs him by the back of the shirt. Hey, if I'm sacrificing looking for the secrets of the universe for this, you can stand around for 5 seconds. A voice emanates from the knocker.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Lady Baskia, this is Cedric, working for the Crown. We met many moons ago. My acquaintances and I are here to investigate your husband's case.
There's a long silence at the other end. You begin to think she's ignoring you when finally a sigh breaks the silence and the door clicks open. It's Electra. Mother's not here right now. I'll be upstairs. There's no one on the other side. You step into a lavish foyer with a fireplace crackling in the hearth.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, you've ruined it! There's a young man standing in the center of the room. Back to the four of you, he holds a sheet of paper with writing on it in one hand. What? Excuse me? It's no issue. It's not as though I was practicing for my father's funeral. He sighs loudly and turns to face you, his face, puckered like he's just tasted something sour. He makes eye contact with Wes and freezes. You hear Wes catch breath behind you. Wesley?
Sky?
Oh, no. You look well. Sky sniffs indignantly, a cool air settling between the two of them.
I, should go. I have to find somewhere for us to stay for the night.
Stay here. The Baskian estate has multiple guest rooms.
We couldn't possibly impose. I see.
Not that you stayed in any of said guest rooms when you were over. Oh God. Oh God is right. This is painful. We're here about your father. We're here to find out who tried to kill your father. My father went to sleep last night and never woke up. He's not dead, at least not yet, but I'm preparing just in case. Never woke up? When did he go to sleep? After dinner, as always. He had his usual glass of wine and passed out upstairs. Father usually wakes up at the crack of dawn and goes for a run, but he never woke up this morning, and believe me, we tried to wake him. Not yet. Why do you think he's going to die? Sky shrugs.
Father's a powerful man, and he had a lot of enemies. He always believed someone would try to poison him.
Prep.
What are you preparing for? His funeral, of course. I wouldn't want to be caught without a touching eulogy as his only son.
This guy is starting to get on your nerves because we definitely didn't prepare one. And people process grief in many ways. Oh, right. Because your dad died, so this reminds you of that. Is it his situation or his attitude that's familiar?
Everyone needs to go outside. Everyone here needs to go outside. Okay, yeah.
You shake your head to clear your thoughts. You need to focus. All right. I'm going to end the part here, everyone, so I will see you around.